Hi everybody, Kat here. So we're going to be talking about Casubaris. This is an airbrush that I saw on Amazon. I thought it was super interesting because it has two batteries. So it has two rechargeable batteries that you can take with you on the job. This is more of an open box. I'm just, wanting to show this to you because again, I love my airbrushes and I always want to try every single one of them. When you first look at this airbrush, it's nicely packaged. I like the airbrush. I can already tell because of the well. I like the well to be a particular design so it doesn't hold makeup medium so that you're wasting it, and this one does not. You have a protective tip as well. And then as far as the connection point, it's 1/8 of an inch. So you're able to get additional airbrushes to connect to this unit. Two batteries, which is great. I love that feature. You've got your charging cord, and then you've got the compressor itself. The airbrush is nice and it's sleek. You've got a simple on-off design. There is no adjustment on the PSI. So again, there's only one PSI setting. On the battery, just push it in. It's going to pop out. You can exchange it for the second battery if you run out of charge. You just want to make sure that when you're putting the battery in place, you're lining it up correctly, so that when you put it in, it just snaps right back into place. So there is a wrap around the airbrush that's got additional information that you need to read, but we're going to go ahead and open up the box really quick. We're going to see what else is inside the box. We've got some cleaning tools, which is important. And then we also have the braided hose. Now the braided hose is nice because this allows you some additional freedom with your airbrush system. So you've got a braided hose option, and then you have the option to put the airbrush directly on the compressor when using it. I'm going to go ahead and unwrap this braided hose, and I'm going to show you how it works with this airbrush. It's very simple to put together. You've got two ends. One's going to go to the airbrush itself. The other one is going to go to the compressor. So I'm just going to show you how simple it is to actually put this together. You're just basically going to screw it on here. You do have options if you want to do quick disconnects later down the line. So if you want to do something like that, you certainly can. But the other end is just going to go on the opposite. Now you can see that the nut on this is going to screw up. So I've just placed it on the actual counter because it's just easier for me to do this way. It's simple enough. You're just connecting both sides, and then you've got an airbrush system that is utilizing a braided hose. Now if you don't want to use the braided hose, you can simply put the airbrush directly on the compressor itself. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how easy that is to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this apart, and I'm going to put that airbrush directly on the compressor. Again, auto stop dual action airbrush pen, and it's very, very simple to use. This would be really good in my opinion if you're doing arts and crafts. I'm going to be utilizing this for my face painting, and that's what I'm going to test it on, is when I actually go out and face paint, because I'll use it with stenciling. But if you're a barber, cake decorator, nail artist, something like that, I think that this brush would work well for those applications. Because it only has one PSI, I personally would not use it for eyeshadow makeup or anything like that. I would use it for body painting. So body painting I think would be fine. I think the PSI on this, and I did not measure it, is going to be somewhere around 27 PSI, but I'm going to actually do a live demo here and show you in the field what this looks like. So I'm out here on a face painting job and I'm using it to do stencil work. So I'm just basically spraying the unit. I've put water in it. So water is very thin. It's coming out very nice. And I'm just trying to show you what it sounds like, what it looks like, just kind of coming out of the airbrush itself. Because the makeup medium I'm using is also very thin, it's going to work well with this particular airbrush. But we're going to do some additional testing here in just a second. So going from the outside to the inside, I'm just doing a little bit of stencil work. As a face painter, equally, I use stencils all the time, and I find that using this type of an airbrush on the job is great. It gives me just enough makeup medium to do what I need to do for those little quick accents on the face paint. Body painters might use this for some touch-up work, if you're a cake decorator, if you are a barber shop, maybe doing any other kind of crafts, I think that this particular unit will work well. And again, you do have 2 batteries that come with it. Now, when I look at the unit itself, I just want to talk about some additional things. I love the casing. It's not shiny, it's matte. You turn it on, simple on and off feature. You can see the battery life right there. You do want to make sure that you turn it off when it's not in use. It will build up some pressure and actually exert some of the air if you just leave it sitting there. I like that you're able to connect it directly to the unit, and or you could use the braided hose. So let's talk about that wrap that was actually around the unit itself. So when we're looking at the paper, it talks about several things, but I'm going to hit the left side of this. Basically what it's saying here is that you want to charge the battery separated from the unit. The battery is not waterproof, so you want to make sure you're not using it in wet conditions or charging it in wet conditions, high temperatures where it could sweat. And then I'm going to move over here to the book. When you're looking at this and you go into the book, it talks about a couple different things. The model style, the spray nozzle diameter, which I said was a 0.3, the connection, which is 1/8 of an inch, and then the options of doing it with the braided hose and or if you wanted to directly on the unit itself. Charging time on the battery is anywhere from 40 to 60 minutes, and they state that you can get anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes of continuous spraying time. So earlier I talked about this being potentially 27 psi. They are actually asking you not to get that confused with working pressure. They state that the working pressure on this unit is between 10 and 15 psi. Again, quick overview. I hope it was helpful. I will put all the links below. And again, thanks for watching.